How you doing?
Good.
Hey, listen, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
So you're now with Waste Pro.
Waste Pro.
How big is Waste Pro?
Waste Pro is really big. We're about 4,600 team members now.
Is that what they call it? The non-employees, team members?
We call them team members. We cover 10 states. So it's not, it's Florida all the way up to Missouri, up the coast, Carolinas.
Yeah, you showed me your sheet of paper. Which camera are we on? Give me a camera. That's
Florida alone.
Yeah, it is unbelievable what the different areas you have.
All the way up to Jacksonville, up the East Coast there.
It's not called Duval County. It's Jacksonville County?
It's Duval County, yes.
Right. Jackson used to be a city. Jacksonville used to be a county and a city, or what is it?
Right. It was a city, Jacksonville. And, so now it's Duval County.
Yeah.
Yes.
So okay, but before we get to that, let's talk about your history before we get into Waste Pro. This camera always finds my bald spot. I don't know how that happens. Yeah.
It looks. I don't see anything. I see a lot of hair.
Okay, so a lot of hair. Okay, where'd you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Miami, Hialeah actually.
Shout out to Mayor
Bovo, shout out.
What street?
Not 41st Street actually. West 41st.
What elementary school did you go to?
So I grew up in Westchester. Well,
you were born in Hialeah.
Born in Hialeah, grew up in Westchester.
Pronounce it properly.
Westchester.
Okay.
Went to the local schools there.
Which ones?
Coral Park.
Okay, hold on. Elementary school.
Coral Park Elementary.
Okay. Who's your favorite teacher?
Oh, God.
Can you name any of the teachers?
Miss Hill.
Really?
I remember 5th grade.
Miss Hill.
Yes.
Okay. You're junior high or middle school. I don't know how old you are.
Junior high. You know what? It was middle school, actually, when I went. Rockaway Middle School.
Favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher there, I have to say it was my PE teacher, Mr. Thomas.
Okay, and then high school, you went to Coral Park.
Went to Coral Park Senior High.
Favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher there, I gotta say Mr. Pink.
Okay, now, to understand, did you play any sports in?
Yes, I actually played football at Coral Park.
Where? No,
Coral
but
Park.
not Little League.
Oh, Little League? No, not Little League. I played soccer. So I was at Coral Park States, basically Coral States. Actually, Mr. Confessori was my coach. He was just inducted into the Hall of Fame for soccer.
Which Hall of Fame?
It's something the MLS one for Florida. So, but I did grow up in that system, playing soccer all the way through kind of middle school, then kind of switched over to football, wrestling.
Your mom allowed you to play football?
She
okay,
they allowed me. Yeah.
Okay.
so
you played football in high school, not Little League.
So in high school, right.
What position did you play?
Defensive end.
And how much did you weigh? 170?
Oh no, I got up to about 200. I was about 200.
Coral Park, how was the team? Did you win
mediocre? Let's just say, mediocre. We'll just say that. But I will say this: from the wrestling team.
Who was the coach?
Back then, it was Coach Eakes.
Coral Park. In the heyday, was really competitive.
Way back, yeah. But at one point, yes. But when I was there, we were okay.
Well, what weight did you wrestle?
I wrestled. So I wrestled my sophomore year all the way to my senior year. I started off at 171s and worked my way up to 215s, basically.
That's right under heavyweight.
Right under heavyweight. You're right. Yep.
But the guys you wrestle cut weight, so they're really like 240, cutting down to 215.
Yeah.
Big
so
boys.
Anything after 215, you're heavyweight. You're considered heavyweight.
How was your record? What was your record your senior year?
Did
you break even?
I would say, it's a long story with my senior year. So, but I would say.
You think Waste Pro stuff? This is tough. Find out who you are. All right. So you wrestled, had a great time.
Yeah, I had a good time. Wrestling. I will say this: wrestling was a great sport for discipline, and really testing your body and testing, challenging your body and challenging your mind. Best shape of my life was when I was a wrestler.
People don't realize wrestling, it's you, not against them. It's you against yourself. Yeah. Every other sport, you got to depend on something. No.
You're out there by yourself.
And wrestling is a team sport, but it really is an individual sport.
Yep.
And so, all right, so where'd you go to college?
So I went to college. So I started my 2 years at Miami-Dade Community College.
Right.
local college here, Kendall campus. I did a little bit there. I did,
Kendall South, Miami-Dade South.
well, yeah, back then it was called the Kendall campus.
right.
Went to some Wolfson campus down in downtown. Then from there went to Florida International University. Got my undergrads there, double majoring in business management and international business. And then after that, decided to go back to school and finish my MBA. So I got my master's
Where?
from there, from FIU as well.
Wow.
Yep. And specializing in strategic negotiations. So that was really good.
A footnote: your parents both still live in Westchester.
They still live in Westchester.
Very good. What's the street? I don't need the avenue. What's the street?
13th.
Wow.
13th.
You know, I just driving through Westchester. You want to give a shout out to your favorite place?
My favorite place.
Your favorite hot dog place?
Arbedders. Woohoo!
Okay, so let's get to waste management. So after you finished college, where'd you go to work?
So, interesting enough, I went to work at a private garbage company.
Which one?
It was called BFI, Browning Ferris Industries. And it was right after high school. I was actually working there and going to college after work. And I got there, and it was really a temp job when I first started, because I was trying to become a firefighter, to be honest with you. I was actually, when I started Miami-Dade, I was going to the medical campus too, as well, and trying to get my EMT and all that. And, you know, that didn't go well. I started seeing how bodily fluids kind of were in line with me, so I decided to just deal with garbage instead. So I started as a temp, worked at Browning Ferris Industries, BFI. They're no longer around. It was
Did somebody buy them?
Yeah, they were through acquisitions. They're no longer around. But I would say it really gave me an opportunity to kind of learn the business, the financials, the logistics, even driving trucks, being able to work on the road, just understand the business. And it really opened my eyes, saying, wow, this is really nice. I like this. I like the financials. I like the logistics. I like the people. The people are one of the hardest working group of folks that you can see out there. I mean, it's fantastic what they do.
All right, so then you went from BFI to?
So from Browning, I spent about 8-9 years there at BFI. Then I went to work for a municipality. I decided to go into the government
Which
side
one?
of things. City of Hallandale Beach. They handled their own garbage service as well there. We did everything there. And then from there, got the opportunity. I spent a few years there. And then from there, I went to the county, Miami-Dade County. Got the opportunity to come to Miami-Dade County to run all the disposal sites for Miami-Dade County.
What's that?
So what the disposal sites are is basically, at that point, where all the transfer stations. So what transfer stations are is where, like, maybe your neighborhood garbage trucks go to dump, where it's like a middle point, basically, a midpoint between that and the landfill or a final destination. Where that waste is consolidated into a tractor trailer, and then from the tractor
trailer is there.
Yeah,
it's crazy because if you're not really paying attention, it's like I used to go to the one at Chapman.
Well, that's different. Those okay. So those are little little neighborhood drop-off points, but these are industrial facilities. Okay. So these industrial facilities is where the garbage trucks go.
Oh, garbage trucks.
That pick up your green cart, your blue cart, in front of your house. And they go, or even private companies like ourselves, we'll go there and dump, so that we could get back to the route faster, basically. So you don't have to put more trucks on the road.
Gotcha.
So it's like a location where you can consolidate everything, and then you put it into a larger tractor trailer, which probably holds 2 or 3 garbage trucks in one tractor trailer to go to a final location, such as a landfill.
Okay. All right. So you were there how many years at Hallandale?
Well, I was there about 3 years.
Then you go to the county.
Then I went to work at the county.
And how many years did you work at the county?
I did 15 years at the county.
And you started, what was your title?
So my title when I first came in, I was Senior Division Director over the transportation system.
And then when you retired from there?
When I retired from there, I was the director of the department. So
and what period of time did you go from there to there?
So in 10 years, I became the director of the department.
Wow. How many years were you at the county?
15.
15 total.
15 total. 5 of those years, I was the director of the department.
And how many employees were there? And how many trucks?
So in the county, we had a workforce of 1,200 employees, team members, I like to call them. Trucks, we had close to about 1,200 pieces of equipment, I can recall. And back then, and our budget, when I was the director there, was close to about $700 million.
you on your time, didn't they start doing electric trucks?
So yes,
Right at the end,
yes. At the end, one of the things we were able to accomplish as a team, we were able to bring in the first electric garbage truck in Miami.
And in the
Dade
country,
County. And
I think there's only one or two in the whole country.
There's a handful in the country, but the difference was what we did was we brought this electric garbage truck that was going to be powered by a waste-to-energy facility. So the actual garbage we were picking up was going to be processed into electricity to power the truck for the next day.
Okay, so we're going to get to Waste Pro of Florida. Now, Waste Pro is across the country, correct?
Correct. We cover 10 states. It's a 10-state footprint, all the way up the Carolinas, Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, up to Missouri.
I'm looking at your map. It looks like Orange County. Is that Orange County?
Orange County, yes. Orlando, like the
Orlando.
area. Yep.
That's one of your strongest areas, it looks like.
We have multiple locations, cities that we handle in that area. Our corporate office is just northeast.
Corporate, all United States or corporate just for Florida?
Corporate for the entire footprint, right?
It's in Orlando.
It's just northeast of Orlando, basically.
Orlando.
Yeah, near Orlando. Yes. It's called Longwood, Florida.
Okay, so how many team members do you have at Waste Pro?
So at Waste Pro, we're 4,600, over 4,600 team members there. We have in our arsenal there, we have about 3,200 trucks throughout that footprint. And CNG, we even have a fleet of CNG trucks, compressed natural gas trucks, so they're a lot more environmentally friendly. We service close to 2 million residential customers throughout that footprint. Over 100,000 businesses, commercial business, because we also do businesses. We'll pick up the dumpster behind your business. If you have a construction project as well, we'll drop a roll-off container, one of those big dumpsters, so you can put the construction material in. We have 90 operating locations throughout the country, footprint, and about 260 exclusive franchise agreements. So what that means is basically we have exclusivity in these jurisdictions, like a county or a city, to handle all the garbage service, all the needs for that city or that or that county, from the residential to the commercial.
The owner. This is not the owner. Where does he live?
So Mr. Jennings, John Jennings, is the founder and owner of the company, and he's up in the Longwood area.
He's always been in this business?
Even his father was in the business. So his father was an Irish immigrant.
So he's a first generation.
His father was the first generation.
Right.
He's the second generation.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that's, I don't know. I get it backwards, but when a child of an immigrant, I still feel that they're immigrants because their mindset is just different.
Yeah, so it's really a nice story. His father started up there in that Long Island area up there in the Northeast, and just made it happen. I mean, matter of fact, the truck Mr. Jennings' father uses. We have a museum, by the way. We have a museum of all these historic trucks, garbage trucks, up in the Sanford area, Sanford, Florida. It's open to the public. I mean, we do tours there. We do tours all the time. But these are, you can see the father's truck there, as well as Mr. Jennings' truck, his first truck that he used back in the 70s, is there too.
Well, and one thing about Waste Pro, they're one of the few that are locally owned. They're not public traded. This is a locally owned. And I say local, right. It's Florida. Right. I tell people, when you go to Starbucks, the profits go where? To Washington, Oregon.
To some other place.
So the profits of Waste Pro is in Florida.
Is in Florida.
And that's important. We got to keep. We have to do business with people with our own community.
And that's the beauty of this company. Even we have all these offices, these locations throughout Florida. They're all locally ran. I mean, they hire locally. They bring the folks locally. So you're dealing with somebody. If you have a service issue or anything, you're talking to somebody that lives in your community, not somebody in a call center in Indiana somewhere, or somewhere in some other state or some other country. It's all locally handled.
Recycling. It is a interesting issue because community newspapers wrote a story about it, that recycling across the country is not working. the person who wrote the story is me. So I see it all the time. I see these two different trash cans. But when I started doing stories, I ate a pizza or two or three boxes, and there's no pizza in it. I throw it into the recycling. But I understand that's not recyclable.
So it's interesting you say that. So it all depends, I think,
How much pizza you ate?
How greasy the pizza was,
But, okay.
too. So no, I mean, so the what will happen is the grease usually will eat up the cardboard and make it brittle, so it's really not worth anything. So that was always the thought process. Hey, this cardboard's it's no good. Basically, how do you make this? How do you recycle this? You make this into another product,
Right.
Now what I'm hearing, with technology and depending on the material, the recycling facility, the materials recovery facility, there has been technological advances that are able to kind of sort those pizza boxes out. But I still say the grease is not gonna be a problem. I know Domino's is making a big effort to say, hey, your pizza's, your box is recyclable. Take it back to Domino's Pizza and we'll recycle it for you. I don't know who's going to do that. After you ask them to deliver your pizza, you're going to take it back to a local Domino's
Right,
store.
but it's a marketing scheme.
So my opinion is the grease. I don't think I think the grease really impacts those pizza boxes at the end of the day. I don't think they're worth anything.
It's an interesting situation. I don't know. I remember somebody was telling us that China was buying all this recycling.
Yes.
And I don't know. I read it somewhere when I started doing the story, and they go, "Well, they're not buying it anymore." What does that mean?
So I mean, look, we could get into all that, but China. So what happened was they reduced the contamination amount that they wanted to basically nothing. And what was happening for a long time is we were sending all of our garbage, basically.
United States, not right.
Yeah, United States, just to China, basically, into these markets where it was cheaper just to get rid of it there than in our backyard, and they were taking it. So that changed. So things tightened up a little bit, so you couldn't do that anymore. And
what's your company doing about it?
So what we do, we use domestic markets. We're recycling in our domestic, right in our backyard. I mean, we're sending stuff to local paper mills, local places that here are domestically, not necessarily over China.
I there's some parks in Dade County that's recyclable. I love them. The walkways, it's like it's like almost like a rubber. Really soft too when you walk on it, and that's recyclable.
It's recyclable. So
and I love that.
So something we do in our landfills, being the vice president over the post collection, which what that means is disposal, all of the disposal for the company.
Right.
Basically, what we do here is we have landfills. We pull out metals from our landfills. We pull out concrete, and we actually crush the concrete, and we sell it back to like FDOT, local jurisdictions.
You crush it,
yeah,
and then they
use it. They use it in their street.
Right. They
streets,
mix that with cement, and
yeah. So it's not just getting landfilled. So we actually are recycling in our landfills. So it's a great thing, and it's good. It shows our ways of how we're sustainable. And metals. I mean, there's tons of metals that come out of our landfills. It's crazy how much people throw away metals into the landfill. I mean, just get rid of it.
So I remember seeing somewhere, I don't remember where, that there are people when they go through recycle, they're going through and sorting stuff out. Is that still right?
So in a typical MRF recycling facility, you do have hand sorting happening. But what's happened too is these recycling facilities have transitioned to these optical sorters. So everything's like a lot more electronic, less hand sorting because it's no fun and it's dangerous. It's actually
super dangerous to
right?
me.
You're
I think.
pulling stuff
I mean, you got a
off
glove. You got to wear gloves all the way up.
Yeah. So there's optical sorters that you could program to look for specific types of plastics, specific types of material types. And I mean, these machines can hold hundreds of different material types, and things will start going in different ways. You still need some hand sorting at the front end, basically, but now even robotics are in play now. I mean, these things have these suction cups that picking out stuff out of the line like a person, and you don't have to deal with injuries. You don't have to deal with somebody calling in sick. You don't have to deal with issues like that. So, I mean, I think that's going to be the future. I mean, it is here already, but I think it's just going to keep going in that direction. No different than going to Home Depot, going to Home Depot, and nowadays, what do? You check out yourself, right? Go to Publix now, you
I
check
hate
yourself
it.
out. I get it, but
I don't ring the right thing up. I ring it up twice. To me,
I get it. You're right. I get it, but
my M&Ms, I end up buying 3 of them because I don't know how to ring it up right.
I think what happened with COVID and everything, I think we got a eye opener on and people. It was hard to find resources. I mean, I don't know if the next thing up is a garbage truck driving down your street. Automated garbage truck. Somebody from behind a computer, like a simulator, doing it from their house, picking up the garbage down the street. That'll be interesting.
Quite interesting. So, do you travel all different states? Do you travel just in Florida? Give me some of your responsibilities.
So, Grant, yeah, I do travel. I am traveling. I've been to Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Actually, I got to fly back to Mississippi. I'll be going to Jackson, Mississippi. We got some landfills out there. We got hauling companies out there.
Okay,
as well.
so let's talk about landfills.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go up I-95 or the Turnpike. Which one is it? The one in Broward.
Both, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you see these big mountains, and the water. And
I thought those were hills.
Yeah, they're hills. Okay, yeah, good point. That is product in the ground.
Yeah. So most of those landfills you see along the interstate on the highways we like to call them MSW landfills, or municipal solid waste landfills, where basically your household garbage is going into these landfills. But these landfills, honestly, I mean, they have the stigma of
They
toxin,
smell.
all that. But I would say they're all engineer marvels in the sense that they have collection. We call it a leachate collection system on the bottom of the landfill. Imagine this big tarp underneath the landfill, like a gutter system underneath the landfill that collects all the water, so it doesn't impede into the ground. It's pulled out the gases. You put these gas wells on the top of the landfill, so you can suck the methane.
I saw some of that stuff. I was always wondering what that was. Now in Miami, they have one in Cutler Bay. I call it Cutler Bay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, look.
And sometimes it smells. Why?
So a lot of times that could be the result of it could have that rotten egg smell, especially on the MSW landfills, which is it's basically. It's a gas issue. How about that? It's a gas issue that may result from that, and maybe not good housekeeping. A lot of times that may occur. But as far as our landfills, I mean, we have landfills throughout Florida, throughout the Panhandle, Mississippi, Louisiana. So yeah, I mean, I will go out there, fly. Like I gotta go to Jackson, Mississippi now. I am involved also with some mergers and acquisitions now under my portfolio. So. Always good. We're growing the business.
What other states are you in? You're in Mississippi and New Orleans? I mean,
so Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Carolinas, Georgia. I was actually in North Georgia. North Georgia is beautiful. When I think about Georgia a lot, and maybe a lot of people think about it, you think about Atlanta, right? But Georgia, just the north end of Georgia, it's beautiful. It's hills,
that's where people are moving, not to North Carolina, but North Georgia. Beautiful. They fly into Atlanta. They drive an hour and 15 minutes. They're in the hills of Georgia.
It's beautiful. That Blue Mountain area up there. It's just a nice area. Jasper. I mean, really nice area.
To me, I love north of me, Hialeah, Miami Lakes, Miami Gardens. That's north to me. I'm not traveling. I'm happy here. Okay, so you have children?
Yes.
How old are they?
They're both going to turn 15.
Twins?
I have twins. Yes.
And where do they go to school?
They go to school up in Weston. Actually, they go to Falcon Cove. Actually.
Is that a high school?
It's a middle school.
Falcon Cove?
Yeah.
You're in Weston.
I'm up in Broward, but near Weston, yes.
Weston is just like, after people don't realize Hurricane Andrew made Weston because everybody that got destroyed moved up to Weston.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, yeah, because I used to live in Weston a long time ago, and and I actually was in Weston when there was nothing out there. I mean, you had to go to Davie to go eat something because not everything.
You were there
when
the bears were there and the crocodiles.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of things out there. So
yeah, we're borrowing their land. Okay, so how long have you been with Waste Pro?
So I've been with Waste Pro less than 6 months. I was about 4 months roughly. Made that transition over the summer, and let me tell you, I'm really enjoying having fun. You know, when you have fun where you work and you're enjoying what you do, it's not work. I mean, you can relate, right?
I don't work. So it's what's interesting. You work at big corporations. You work for Hallandale. You work for the county.
Right.
Here, the boss says, "We're going to do something." It's done.
It's done.
And that's the exciting part when you're in private industry and you have one boss, not a public company. The boss says, "Do it." It's done.
It's Grant. It's very exciting at the fact this company and this is like we like to say the distinguishable difference between us and our competitors, such as a publicly held company. But the great thing is the founder of the company is still involved. He's our chairman.
How old is he?
Mr. Jennings got to be in his 70s.
Spring chicken.
Yeah, spring chicken.
I'm 67, and I was at an event last night. I met a guy that was 97.
Wow.
Fully functioning.
Wow.
Fully
great.
functioning.
That's great.
And I go, when I met him, I said, "You are my inspiration."
That's great.
So we're all going to live a good time.
We're going to live to
Right. Mike, it's a pleasure. Congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
Everybody, have a great day. Waste